What is up, guys? My name is Anne Marie and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about my top 5 tips on how to survive a long distance relationship. As you guys know, my boyfriend Nathan and I have been in a long distance relationship for almost a year now, and it's been really hard. We've spent more time apart than we have together, which stinks. It sucks a lot, especially since I'm here on campus and there's couples all over the place. So just because you guys seem to enjoy content that I post about myself and Nathan, I thought I'd do this video for you guys and show you guys how Nathan and I deal with a long distance relationship, and I wanted to give you guys some tips on how Nathan and I deal with long distance. If you are in a long distance relationship or you're about to be in a long distance relationship, these are some tips that you will find very helpful. So tip number 1 is the most obvious one, which is communicate. We live in a day and age where everything is so much easier. We have so many different ways to communicate with other people: WhatsApp, Skype, FaceTime, YouTube, Twitter, all of these different ways in which we can communicate with other people. Use technology to your advantage. Use technology to your advantage when you're in a long distance relationship. Nathan and I try to call every night. If not, we are constantly texting each other. We do FaceTime. We've done Skype before. Just find ways to communicate. As long as you and your significant other are communicating, your relationship will succeed. This means communicating about a lot of different things, telling each other about your day, or if you got a good grade on an exam, or how your work day was. It means talking about the tough stuff too. So if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling angry, if you are feeling like you can barely handle distance anymore, these are things you need to tell your partner. These are things that you need to communicate. Because if you don't communicate with your partner will have no idea what's going on. Just the same as if your partner doesn't tell you anything, you don't really know what's going on in their lives or how they're feeling. Please communicate with your significant other. Tip number 2 is a little bit more difficult, is spend time together. So before Nathan and I were in a long distance relationship, we were actually both here on campus. We went to school together, and I got to spend at least a few months with him before he graduated and moved away. So if you have the chance to meet your significant other in person and spend time together, do that. There is no better judgment of what kind of person your significant other is than spending time with them and meeting them face to face. But if you've met before, if you have a situation similar to Nathan and mine where you were together like in close proximity for a short period of time before long distance, that is more power to you. You've spent time with this person. You know what this person's like. You might have time to gauge some of their characteristics. But tip number 2 is spend time together. There is no better way to make sure a relationship will last than spending time together. Because if you guys are more comfortable apart than you are together, then you're probably not meant to be. Tip number 3 is plan ahead, and this goes for a lot of different things. If you're going to visit your significant other, or your significant other is coming to visit you, pick dates ahead of time. Buy plane tickets, or make sure they buy their plane tickets ahead of time, because plane tickets are really pricey. This also comes down to anniversary dates or birthdays or any periods of time where you want to give somebody a gift or send them a letter. Plan that ahead of time. One thing that I did for Nathan before we went long distance, before he graduated, was as a graduation present, I wrote, I think, a month's worth of letters that said open when. So open when you're happy, open when you're sad. There are so many different things about this on Pinterest. So that's what I did. I planned all of these letters out ahead of time, wrote them all ahead of time. That way, if he was in a certain situation, all he had to do was open a letter and he had something personal from me to get him out of a funk, or to just give him something to remember me by. And he liked it a lot. He wrote me a couple back. So tip number 4 is get your senses involved. Because long distance is really difficult on a physical scale because you're not in close proximity with your significant other. Cuddling, hanging out, going on dates, these things are not possible when you're in a long distance relationship. The sensation of touch and feeling somebody else next to you is not possible in a long distance relationship. So my fourth tip is to get all of your other senses involved. This means calling each other on the phone, making sure you are able to hear their voice, seeing them, whether it's through a camera or through photos or pictures that you've taken previously, a photo album, something like that. Even your sense of smell can be involved with this. So before Nathan left, he actually gave me one of his t-shirts and sprayed his cologne on it, so I had that to remind me of him. I had something that smelled like him. I had something physical that reminded me of him that engaged more than one of my senses, which was very comforting, especially since he wasn't in close proximity to me. So if you're a girl and you want to give something else to your significant other, spray perfume on a t-shirt. One thing I did for Nathan was I got him a Build-A-Bear with my voice recorded in it saying I love you, and I gave that to him for his birthday. That was just another way for me to engage his sense of hearing. So I have his scent, he has my voice. Get all of your senses involved because touch is not going to be possible. The last tip is super duper important. It is absolutely critical if you want your long distance relationship to succeed. Trust and loyalty. If you do not trust this other person far away from you, like if you don't want this person to move away because you don't trust them, it's not worth it. You have to be able to trust your partner because you're not going to be there to watch everything they do. You're not going to be there to spend all of your time with them. You have to give them space. Or rather, space will be between you guys whether you want it or not. That's how long distance works. So because of that space, you have to trust your partner. Now, this can be difficult, especially for people who have never met their significant other before or have only been dating their significant other for a short period of time. You might not have built that trust in that amount of time. However, if you want the relationship to succeed, you have to trust each other. And this goes both ways. That's what the loyalty part of this tip is about. You have to be loyal and your partner has to be loyal to you. If you are in a long distance relationship and you are sleeping around with other people, you're dating other people behind your significant other's back, no, call it off. That's not a good situation to be in. You should be loyal to your significant other. And if your significant other wants the relationship to work, they should be loyal to you. This can be extremely difficult, especially when it comes to long distance, because you can't keep an eye on your partner. You have to trust them. And if you don't trust them, then the odds are your relationship's not going to succeed. You have to know, you have to be able to know that your partner is going to do the right thing, and your partner has to know that you are going to do the right thing. So trust and loyalty are a huge part of long distance relationships. Trust and loyalty also comes from a basis of just getting to know your partner and knowing your partner on that level. If you know your partner and you know your significant other, you know their personality, you know their quirks, you know what they like to do, then you should be able to trust them. If you don't know that much about your partner, then I would say you're probably not ready for a long distance relationship. You have to know the person in order to love the person. So just a quick recap of all of the tips. Number 1, communicate. Number 2, spend time together if you can, before your long distance or after when you're planning to meet each other. Tip number 3, plan ahead. Make sure if you're going to visit this person, you buy your plane tickets ahead of time if they're necessary. See where you'll be staying if you're not staying with them, blah, 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 blah. Number 4, get your senses involved because touch will not be possible. Number 5, trust your partner and be loyal. Because all of this comes from knowing your partner and knowing yourself. Long distance is entirely possible. If you guys are in long distance relationships, I wish you guys the best of luck. If you have any questions about long distance relationships or anything in particular, please feel free to send me an email. I will leave my email in the description below. If you want to see content from me daily, whether it's about fitness, psychology, long distance relationships, anything in particular, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AnnieKinsFit, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!